What's up, everybody? Welcome to the F Word Podcast, brought to you by Entertain Facts. With me is Nick. Thanks for joining us. You've been on hiatus for a little bit.
I did. Got a little bit of a vacation in, but I'm back. Looking forward to being on the show. So
thanks for coming back. And I am Simply G. Our boss is away.
I know. Isn't this awesome?
CEO and founder is gone. He is away on a little bit of a vacation, I think for the next couple shows or something like that. Yeah. So we're just going to run rampant with a couple microphones.
Full creative control.
Oh, jeez.
Beautiful.
This is going to go great.
What an idiot.
This is going to go great. All right, let's hop into it. San Diego Comic-Con's this weekend. A lot of stuff coming out there. A lot of trailers. Defender trailer came out. Looked pretty cool. Punisher's back. Everyone loved the Punisher in the last ones. Have you seen the Netflix, Marvel Netflix shows?
No, I haven't actually. So
highly recommend it.
Okay,
if you haven't,
definitely.
if anyone hasn't seen them, check them out. For sure, Daredevil season 1 and half of season 2 are probably something like the best you'll see.
Okay.
We got a new Saw trailer. Man. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think most people care. Another Kingsman trailer came out. Did you see the Kingsman last year?
I didn't.
I think it was like 2015. Check it out.
I've heard nothing but good things, so I know
good.
I'm one of those very few people who hasn't seen it, so I will.
It's so good. Yeah. But the one that we're going to go to, it's kind of been beaten over the head, but now apparently Ben Affleck may not be Batman again. And it's like, it's this thing that has just been going since January or so, because the way that it worked is that, okay, he's going to do Batman, he's going to write it, direct it, do all that. And then he had Live by Night, which was his kind of passion project. Did not do well at all. Yeah. Lost money. And then now he's like, well, I don't think I want to be Batman anymore. Like, that's how it kind of seems like. And it's kind of been this back and forth thing because he was the guy leading him in there. You've seen Batman v Superman.
I have, yeah.
Do you like I think we talked about this on the first show, but did you like Ben Affleck as Batman?
I did. And I think a lot of it was because you had all that negative, like, why is Ben Affleck Batman? So you kind of went in with low expectations. Yeah. And I thought he did a great job. I thought he played a really good Batman. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say he was the best Batman, but I thought he did a solid job, and I actually enjoyed his performance in it.
You're from the era of Keaton, right?
That was the original that I saw.
Is he still your favorite, or are you a Christian Bale Batman guy?
Christian Bale, I think, overtook Keaton, although I do like Michael Keaton. Like, for his time, he played a great Batman. He played a great Bruce Wayne.
That first time when he's like, I'm Batman, still so good. And like, I watched that show, like, my era, unfortunately, is the George Clooney. That was my Batman.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Or Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was okay.
He was okay.
They beat the parent thing over his parents thing. Like, it seems like they fetishized the whole he's lost his parent thing. Like, they really dig into that. And they did that in Batman v Superman. But I did like Batman in it. So it kind of sucks because I was like, he was good. This is the Batman we wanted. But because they've already nailed down kind of like the essence of it, I liked him as Bruce Wayne as well.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a big one because, like, I thought Christian Bale was a good Bruce Wayne and he was an okay Batman. He didn't fight like Batman. He wasn't that ninja. He had more of that kind of, like, he would block more so and then deliver a blow. Yeah. This one, like, again, everyone talks about the warehouse scene. He went in, laid waste. But do you care if he's no longer Batman?
Personally, I don't. I think Batman is so iconic that, like, as long as you have a decent actor playing it, like, you don't need to have like a super great actor like Ben Affleck, I don't think, to play it, right? I think now with the how they're doing the whole Justice League, I think people are just so hyped about it that it doesn't really matter who plays it. I would like to see Ben Affleck just because I think this is like a new generation and he should continue with it. Continuity, exactly. But to say that I don't think it would stop anybody from watching it. I don't think that's going to make that big of an issue. But yeah, I thought he did a great job. And I would like to see him in the next one.
And I think I'm with you on that one too. It's more so the continuity thing. Because Superman's kind of like, some people like Man of Steel, some people didn't. Mm-hmm. Everyone seems to love Wonder Woman and it's still crushing. Like, it's still in the box office doing well. And with the reshoots, most likely going to be more Wonder Woman heavy than Batman heavy because Ben Affleck just doesn't seem to care anymore. It's not confirmed. And if you want to see it, The Hollywood Reporter is probably one of the most most recognized and most reputable places that you can go, to go check out for movie news and TV and stuff like that. So they're the ones that have the full report. That's where I saw it. And I also saw it kind of being talked about in other podcasts, like Collider, Screen Junkie, so on and so forth. So yeah, I don't know. I think for continuity, it's great. But because they're moving more towards a Wonder Woman heavy Justice League, because everyone loves her. Yeah. because the reports is more so that it's not confirmed that he's not going to do it. It's just Warner Bros. Is planning their slate after Justice League with him out of the picture.
Yeah.
That's kind of the crux of it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be okay. I think if Aquaman crushes too, then you got Wonder Woman and Aquaman to really ride behind. So
yeah, and I think this could also be a promotions thing, like kind of something to get people talking about it and just kind of keep that interest going.
Yeah,
like it's something new to talk about it, like a controversy, so to speak.
Sure. Yeah.
So personally, I still see Affleck doing it. Okay. I think this is just kind of a little bit of a marketing ploy that they're coming up with just to get people talking and being a little bit more quote unquote controversial. But you're right. I think as long as like Wonder Woman continues to be the success that she is and they kind of feed off that, I think it'll do well. And Aquaman,
yeah, jury's out on that one. It looks cool. Like Jason Momoa looks amazing. Like
I still think Vinny Chase from Entourage should come back and just be Aquaman and just crush it. But
if that was the case, James Cameron would have to come back.
I agree.
And he would have to be the one to do it. Like just go straight Entourage and do that.
Yeah.
Second one is they've kind of like had talks about John Watts, who directed the Spider-Man Homecoming, possibly coming back for a sequel. You saw it on Monday, Sunday. When did you?
I saw it on Tuesday.
You saw it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it during the week. You liked it.
I liked it a lot.
Had that comic book feel like you were talking about.
Paid homage to the original cartoon series. I love the fact that they had the theme song at the beginning of it.
So good.
So good. And then the note, I just love how they incorporated the old school stuff. I really like the way they did it. I like the way they made Peter Parker like this kind of like a meek, he wasn't over the top. Yeah. Like he was just solid. Like I thought it was a well done movie altogether.
He just wanted to be an Avenger. So do you think that John Watts coming back is pretty good? Again, same kind of speaking to the continuity thing, because he already did it. The first one, it hasn't done as well box office wise. It had a big drop. I think War for the Planet of the Apes had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
But I don't think, at least for me, it has nothing to do with John Watts' direction in it. So for you, do you think, does it matter too much to you? Or do you you know what? He did the first one. He did good. Let's give him the second one. Or is it kind of a case of he did the first one, he got Spider-Man in people's good graces, and just let somebody else do it?
I think he should continue on. And the reason I say that is the first one is always kind of that tester where they have a vision, and their vision for most directors is a long-term vision. When he went on to direct this one, it wasn't, I just want to do one and I'm done. Yep. He wanted to do a few more after. So I would like to see him do, if not 2, then 3. I think that would be the ideal. And then that way he could kind of carry his vision through, right? Similar to the Dark Knight series, right?
Sure.
That wasn't I'm just going to do one and that's it. He had a vision, and I'm sure he's the same way. I would like to see that continuity again in those movies. Well,
and really when you look at Spider-Man fitting in, he's fitting into this series. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is not these individual movies anymore. Yeah. It's a thought-out plan from day one, 2008. It's almost 10 years since Iron Man came out, which is crazy.
I know.
And so this director's got to he had to go in, bring Spider-Man back, but within the Marvel Universe, even though it's still Sony or whatever. But he was part of a series. It's like coming in on episode 8, or in this case, episode 22 or something of the series known as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think it'd be a good idea if he came back. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's bad either way. I mean, because he's still going to be steered and directed by a guy like Kevin Feige. Yeah. He's got his Grandmaster plan. They still got Infinity War Part 1 and 2. And then Spider-Man, I think the second one, standalone, is right after that. Or, sorry, it's after the first one. One of the two. Yeah. I'm kind of blanking. But, just a bit of movie stuff. Another one, Shazam, was announced at DC. They're pushing Suicide Squad 2 back. So they've been kind of going back and forth with the Shazam Black Adam thing. The Rock was supposed to play him, was it not? We'll see how it goes. Again, just an announcement. Yeah. So if you care, great. I'm pretty sure they're going to have more info for Comic-Con because, that's still going on this weekend.
For sure.
But big thing in TV, obviously, Game of Thrones. Everyone's into Game of Thrones. Nick, you have not seen Game of Thrones.
No. Okay. We're in a safe place, right? I could confess this, and it's not going to be place. Okay. Because it's just us here, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've never seen an episode.
Okay.
Not even a minute of one. and I'm not saying that because I don't have any interest in it. I when it first came out, I was just kind of watching other shows, sure. And then next thing you know, you're into season, what is it, 8 now?
Season 7.
So, like, that's a big commitment. It's just daunting now. And I'm like, man, like, do it.
And for you and I, like, you're even further. You have a child.
Yeah.
You're married. You have a full-time job, all that stuff. For me, like, work takes over, planning on getting married soon, all that kind of stuff. For our CEO and founder, a little bit more time, right? It's a big commitment, especially like you said. If you haven't started from the beginning, where do you find time to binge watch all the TV? Because there's TV everywhere. But what I'm going to do is, I know there's a lot of people that have watched it and they kind of like wondering, hey, what do you guys think on Game of Thrones? I'll give you a quick rundown.
All right,
okay.
Cool.
Essentially, there's this throne. And there are these factions, these families, that are vying for power of this throne. There's a family called the Targaryens. They have dragons. It's this whole kind of thing. I'm going to put this as layman's term as I possibly can.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, they've got dragons and stuff.
Yeah.
Then there's this other family that's married off to the family that's in the chair right now. So when it first started, one guy was on a throne. His wife is from another family. The marriage was done so that they can still have power on the throne. Okay. The Targaryen family, the dragon people, they used to be on there, but their lineage kind of died off. The wife of the guy that was on the throne at the beginning of the show, her brother, killed what they call the Mad King, so the last Targaryen.
Okay.
Now this new lineage of this girl named Daenerys, who has these dragons, is trying to come back to reclaim it. Okay. Because her family brought the Seven Kingdoms, so to speak, together. Think of it like Risk. Okay. Yeah. So in Risk, she's trying to... so they consolidated all of it at one point, and they lost it. And so now she's trying to come back and reclaim it. Then you've got this force coming in from the north, because winter is a big deal. Winter could last 7 years, 10 years. It could last 1 year. People don't know. So there's other family called the Starks. Has nothing to do with Iron Man. Okay. But they know that there's something beyond the wall, or they found out in the first one there's these zombies, pretty much winter zombies. Okay. So fast forward through all of that. We've got all these moving pieces that are going around. The family that killed off the last of the Targaryens, okay? The dude's sister that was married to the guy on the throne in the beginning. Okay. They're called the Lannisters. She blew a bunch of people up, and now she's sitting on the throne. She pretty much like this whole entire coup, and she has the throne now. And she's trying to control everybody. They don't believe that these winter zombies are coming. Okay? There's incest involved. There's a lot of stuff involved. How I'm going to pose it to you as someone who's never seen the show is this. If you had somebody on a throne with very little money now, they finally have power of this throne, but they have a small army, okay? And then there's another army with 3 dragons and a fleet of ships and all that. Do you think that the person sitting on the throne has a chance?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean... I don't know anything about the show, so
sure.
anything can happen. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of a crazy, underdog thing where, like, person on the throne makes it. But based on what you're telling me,
probably not.
Yeah.
So what this Cersei, that's the girl on the throne, that's the woman on the throne right now.
Okay.
Pretty much steals the throne. Okay. And she gets. There's this family called the Greyjoys, and they are pirates, pretty much.
Okay.
There's 2 siblings, one of them who got his wiener cut off in the 5th episode because there was a huge battle for the Stark family thing. Yeah, big thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Half of them are with this girl with the dragons, and then their uncle who killed their dad is now trying to marry Cersei because he's got 1,000 ships to try to kill off his other family and so they can take control and stuff like that.
Okay.
The guy kind of showed up with these ships or whatever. In the north, we have a bastard called Jon Snow, whose lineage is actually more important than people think.
Okay.
His sister has been passed around the show, literally married off to this person, awful human being, Joffrey. He was the son of Cersei.
Okay.
Then married off to this guy named Ramsay Bolton at one point, who pretty much raped her.
No relation to Michael Bolton?
No relation.
Okay, just checking.
I fact-checked.
Okay, yeah. Just so I get my facts straight, too.
But for those of you who have seen it, a few things of note... Oh, my computer is making some weird things right now. Anyways, some few things of note. For those of you who have seen it, Cersei has the throne. The guy's name is Euron Greyjoy. Apparently in the books, he's got this magical thing that can tame these dragons because the dragons are the biggest threat.
Yeah.
In the north, we're seeing that Jon Snow is now the king of the north, somebody who shouldn't be, and his quote-unquote sister... Okay, Sansa, who's finally come back home after being passed around. She's got some, like, she's actually got a little bit of power under her. She knows how to deal with people and so on and so forth. But now, for those of you guys who have seen it, my guess is that there's going to be some friction, because we already saw it in that last episode of season 7, where they're in front of the people that control the North, these heads of families all over the place, and she pretty much calls him out on some stuff in front of everybody.
Oh, wow.
And this guy, like, just became the king of the North, so on and so forth. So it's like, and if anyone's noticed, Sansa's rocking the same hairstyle that Cersei did in season 1, and she was talking about how she admires her, and Cersei's like vindictive. Her theme is power, knowledge is not power, as opposed to the other thing. Yeah. So it's gonna get, for me, I think there's gonna be some dissent in the ranks in the Stark house, and Cersei's gonna be using this guy named Euron, he's a cool guy. You're gonna hate him. He's gonna be a villain, but he's gonna be different than the other ones. The other villains, you just wanted to cut their heads off. You're like, these are just brutal guys. But this guy's got charisma. He's talking back at her, all that stuff. Like, he's actually going to be one of those villains that I think everyone's going to like, just for the fact that, like, God damn, man, he's just ballsy and he's cheeky. He made a comment because Cersei and her brother slept together. All of their 3 kids are from the 2 of them. It's gross. It's all this whole stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there was rumors around that there was incest within it. And then her brother, Jaime Lannister, got his hand cut off in like season 1 or whatever, and he makes a joke in front of everybody. He's like, I still got both my hands, and I like, kind of like, I could be a better lover, and I've got both my hands.
Yeah. And
it was just like, this guy's like, that's how cheeky this guy is.
Cool.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. When Anthony gets back, we're definitely going to touch base on a lot of that stuff. But for you, as someone who kind of, now that I'm pitching it to you as a medieval risk game, does that coax you into maybe I'll give this a shot? Or is this kind of like, you know what, it's gone too far, it may not be my thing?
No, I think it, for me, there is that curiosity there. And you hear nothing but good about Game of Thrones. Like, let's be honest, right? Like, the reviews are all good. Yeah. I know there's that one season where everybody freaked out because everybody died and got killed. And
the Red Wedding.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, for me, there's always that intrigue.
Yeah.
I'll probably start watching it.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I was like, nah, I have no interest in it. It's just like I said, big commitment, but for sure. I think now, especially after, now I'm even more intrigued. So I'll definitely check it out. Well,
and another point, we were talking about Batman before. There's a Batman style character. So the Starks had like 4 or 5 kids, or like they were a group of kids. They ended up splitting up. Now some of them, like Sansa and Jon, are kind of together again, even though he's a bastard. Their brother Bran is like, he can see into the past, into the future.
Oh.
And control people and stuff like that, but he has no legs because he got pushed out of a window in the first season for catching Jaime and Cersei having sex. It's a big thing.
Wow.
Anyways, but the other one found this temple. It was the Temple of the Black and White, and now has learned how to take the faces of the dead and pretty much use that to kill. She's got people on her list. Cersei's on that list. There's people on her list that have wronged her family, and she's pretty much like the Batman now of this universe.
All right.
And she's on her way now to where the throne is. And
you sold me.
There's tons of pieces going on right now, but she's kind of on this path where I'm gonna pose the question. Well, we actually posed the question on the Entertain Facts page. We want you to comment and say who you think is going to die next, because there's a lot of people that are kind of overreaching in this show, and I think Arya, even though we're rooting for her to finish her list, waste these people, so on and so forth, I think she's going to take a step too far. She probably won't reunite with her family. She hasn't been with her family since season 1. All these guys have been, like, these kids have been all over the place, right? So a lot of stuff in Game of Thrones. We'll have more as the rest of the shows go. We'll have a more in-depth conversation about it next week, kind of tying in, because this first episode was kind of like, here's Game of Thrones. It's back. The second one after, and it's only 7 episodes. They used to be 13. But they're doing, this season is 7, and the next one's going to be 6, and then they're going to finish this story off. So a lot of stuff there. In terms of video games, I'm sorry to say, guys, not too much. Some stuff out of Comic-Con, like Legendary Pokemon coming out for Pokemon Go. But again, I played it because when I grew up, Pokemon was the biggest thing. But I think it's a little too late for that, because the fad has died down. I mean, you were working downtown at the time. Like,
it drove me crazy.
And we used to go for coffees, but I'd still be catching Pokemon all the time because that nostalgia just kicked me hard.
I was tired of running into people all the time because they were looking at their phone. It's
hard,
yeah.
Yeah. So, but now they're like kind of releasing some stuff, and I think they're trying to pull back people. Personally, to me, again, I loved it. It was fun at the time, but it got old.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have time to start driving around looking for now these legendary Pokemon if you find them. Yeah. I think it's them trying to pull back. It's a little too
when we
too
retire,
late.
Maybe it'll be something to look at.
When we retire, you know what's going to happen? There's going to be VR, and they're going to be like alive all over the place. I can't wait for that.
Me neither.
Oh, it's going to be so good. Other than that, again, not too much going on in the video game world. We touched about it last week, kind of on the PS5 possibly coming out. We had special guest Bo come in, and he works at kind of like a GameStop type of place. Yep. So he was able to kind of give us some info. He's like, it's probably going to be PS4 2.5 kind of thing. It's not going to be a massive jump or anything because the hardware's already good. Xbox is the ones that have to catch up. But Nick, you've got some wrestling news for us.
I do. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just do a rundown of both Raw and SmackDown.
Sure.
Kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on with the WWE. Raw, we started off. We had a good little segment there with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I see the Shield getting back together, the group with Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I hope it's done well. Like the Shield, when they first came in, was this dominant group, and like people loved them. And in the beginning, they loved Roman Reigns, and then when the WWE kind of pushed them, they were like. Then they kind of started hating him because he was being pushed by the WWE.
Was the Shield brought in or formed as heels, or were heroes? Full heels. Okay.
Full out heels. They were like badass. Like they came in and beat the hell out of John Cena, like who was like the hero, right?
Always the hero.
Still is the hero.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how they're going to do it. So Dean Ambrose comes in. He's going against The Miz now. That's where they're having a little bit of a rivalry. The Miz has his group with The Miz Taraj, which is Curtis Axel and Bo Leave. It's Bray Wyatt's brother anyways in real life. But I like what they did with that. So Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose basically are going to team up to go up against the three of them. I like the fact that the Miztourage actually did beat them up. I like the fact that they made them look strong. So it kind of gives a little bit of legitimacy to their group. You're going to see some rivalry come out of that. Nothing too crazy. I think Dean Ambrose right now and Seth Rollins are kind of lost. They're out of the main event picture, and they're just kind of trying to do some mid-card stuff. I would like to see eventually the Shield come back, but I'm not sure how they're going to do it. But again, would love to see that. In terms of women wrestling, Bayley went up against Alexa Bliss. It was a good match. Alexa Bliss, I think, is one of the best heels right now, like especially women heels. Like she's got this vibe about her. She's got this attitude. She's a little whiny. She's a little catty. Like she's like a little bit of everything. I just totally dig her as a villain. Like she plays a really good villain. And then they put her up against Bayley, who's a hugger. Like literally, she's like,
what do you mean by hugger?
Like that's her shtick. Is like she hugs everybody. She's like
lovingly, or we're talking like when she gets in there, she hugs and throws.
With her friends, with the fans.
Gotcha.
So her line is hug life instead of thug life.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's actually pretty good, right? But so they had a really solid match. There was a little interference with Nia Jax in Alexa Bliss's corner, and then Sasha Banks came down to help out Bayley. Bayley ended up with the win. In the end, I think it's going to be a triple threat match. Well, there is going to be a number one contender match supposedly next week with Bayley and Sasha Banks to see who's going to face Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. I would like to see a triple threat. I would like to see some kind of unresolved thing from the match where there's interference, and I would like to see a triple threat. Otherwise, I see Sasha Banks going on and facing Alexa Bliss.
No relation to Tyra Banks.
None. Damn. None. They do look alike, though, now that you mention it.
They?
Yeah, they totally do. I would like to see Nia Jax actually as well be a champ. Like, I'd like to see her more than just a secondary character. I don't know why they're not doing much more with her. Enzo and Cass, the whole breakup with them as a tag team. So Enzo and Cass came up through NXT. Enzo is one of the best talkers. He had some really good one-liners, and all that kind of stuff. unfortunately, I think what's going on with his character is he's kind of gotten old. Like the one-liners are great, but people just kind of got tired of him. So they broke up him and Big Cass. I see Big Cass being more like, do you remember Diesel? Like Kevin Nash?
Oh, yeah.
I see him kind of taking on like a Diesel kind of a role.
Okay.
Like, you know, like the big badass dude.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm hoping they do with him. Unfortunately, he's not good on the mic. Like Enzo is really good on the mic. Cass sucks. He's just got like an awkward pause all the time. Like he's just not as fluid.
Okay.
I think as a wrestler, incredibly talented.
Yeah.
And once he gets the mic skills down, like he could be a really solid, like, you know, bad guy, you know, whatever.
Sorry, would they be posing him as a bad guy?
He is a
or
bad
he
guy
is right now.
Right now, he is a bad guy. His actual, like, the fans now chant "casshole." Yeah, it's like
that's
WWE
good.
Universe is very clever, man. They're very clever.
They got it.
So yeah, I'm curious to see where that goes. He came in, the Big Show came up against him. He beat up the Big Show. He beat up Enzo. So they're really building him up as a really strong, like, alpha character.
Yeah.
I see him as a main eventer soon. I just hope they don't mess that up because, like, you know, Enzo and Cass together I thought were really good. It seems like they're breaking up a lot of tag teams, but one of the best matches, Finn Balor, Elias Sampson, had a really solid match. These are two, again, NXT guys, and I think they're going to play a solid role as well. Other than that, huge announcement. Kurt Angle, they've been playing this storyline for a while. Like, he had a big secret. So he is actually the father of Jason Jordan.
Legit father?
No, but like this is the storyline.
Like Darth Vader, I'm your father kind
totally,
of thing.
Yeah.
In the context of the story.
In the context of the story. I think, again, they wanted to break up a tag team. They can't have them feuding because Enzo and Cass are already doing that. So how do you break them up? You bring in a fake storyline. Oh, he's my father. Oh, you know, so I'm not sure where they're going to go with this. Kurt Angle, I love the guy. Like, the guy played it really well. I like, you could tell there's certain points though where he's like, I don't know if people are buying this, but I thought he played it really well. They did a post segment and stuff. I thought it was cool.
Question: mother? Did they, like, is it just like, I'm your father, don't know who the mother is, could have been anything, you're a bastard son or whatever?
The mother was somebody that he supposedly met in college, and like
very, very Game of Thrones.
Very Game of Thrones, yeah.
These pieces are tying together.
And they don't want to talk about that.
That's fair.
Last main event match, Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. Solid match, like really good match.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe and Roman, I think, bring the best out of each other. They had a really good match. Chants by, like, this is awesome by the WWE Universe. Braun Strowman came out, interfered, kicked the hell out of both of them, and walked away. So I'm seeing that as a triple threat match for SummerSlam, where it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. And if that does happen, I think Samoa Joe will win the title. Yeah. But I think it'll be a great match. That's
good.
Raw.
That's pretty good. So got some highlights, got some lows there.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit on that triple threat for the SummerSlam. Any other kind of, I know Anthony mentioned it last week, just kind of what he thinks for you, any kind of what you're hoping for, what you think is going to happen outside of that triple threat match, or any winners, anything kind of like on the bottom tier that will bring some new blood into it? Like, do you think any matches like that they're like, I guess what I'm going for is there somebody that maybe they're propping up using SummerSlam as a way to kind of build some new talent up?
I'm hoping what they do with SummerSlam is they actually get the Hardy Boys into a more of a singles division, like break them up and use the Matt Hardy, the Delete persona that he had in TNA Wrestling, which is now Global Force Wrestling. But I'm hoping
sound nearly as well.
No, but like really good concept that he had in that organization. They're trying to get the rights back from them. There's a big legal battle over it. I'm hoping that they kind of resolve that and they get to use that again, because I think it'll make for some good TV.
Not bad, not bad. A lot of stuff coming up.
Absolutely.
Well, we don't have too much else for you, but before we go, I do want to go into our entertained facts and kind of read off some of the stuff that we had, because we did, like I said, we posted which Game of Thrones character do you think will die during this season 7. So you can comment in the video on YouTube. You can also email us at the fwordpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know what you think of the show too. It's kind of an all-changing kind of thing that we want to keep adapting for you. We've listened to a lot of the fans that we've been getting direct messages from. We will be moving to video very soon. Okay, so we're getting all the logistics of that because we want to make sure that we bring you the best program that we possibly can. But under the which Game of Thrones character do you think will die during season 7? Some of the comments that we're seeing, Alex Marco _ is saying definitely Tyrion. He's a dwarf. He's also the younger brother of Cersei and Jaime.
Okay.
But he's, again, there's a big thing there. Someone else says, Max _ Butchwald says Jorah. Jorah is friend zoned to no end with Daenerys, the girl with the dragons and stuff.
Okay.
He has this massive disease. It's like herpes for your entire body. Okay? It's no good.
Is there a cream for that or no?
Well, there's a thing that they call dragon glass, and they think it's going to help.
Okay.
Daenerys ended up finding her way back into... So the two worlds are Westeros and Essos. So think of the two risk maps.
Okay.
Essos is the one side, and you need to get to that bottom part to get to Westeros where everything's kind of going to congregate and the big battles are going to happen, okay? Your battle for the throne, and you're also battle for pretty much life and death because these zombies that are coming, and they're legit, right? So there's a thing called dragon glass that is said to defeat these White Walkers, maybe reverse the effects. So Jorah is getting this effect that this thing's like going up as an arm right now. We just saw a brief thing at a place called the Citadel with one of our other characters, Sam, who I think is going to be our narrator of this whole thing eventually. Like I think this whole thing is done in flashbacks. So Daenerys where she was born, it's called Dragonstone. It's this castle sitting on top of this mountain of dragon glass that they need to try to harvest now. And so they can kill these White Walkers, right? Okay. Because the throne is a misdirect. Again, Cersei doesn't believe that these White Walkers exist, but it's a misdirect. So we'll see. So Jorah is one of them. I'm sorry if I'm going to say this wrong. Ada Viatri. Again, sorry I said this wrong. It says Cersei or Sansa. Pretty sure Cersei's going to be gone. Ned Stark. Thanks, Liam _Murray. This is a character that died in the first season. Good one. What else do we got here? Oh, Clengen Fleming says Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran actually was like a cameo in this show.
I heard about that, actually. Yeah.
He's probably going to die. He's probably only in it for fan service and stuff. Rivers _ Jackson. All of them. Very dark. Not bad. So go back onto our Entertain Facts page. Comment on who you think you're going to die. Who's going to die, sorry. Again, email us at the fwordpodcast@gmail.com. Comment on YouTube. Get those likes. Hit that notification so you see a show coming up. This one will come up around 11-ish, 12 o'clock tomorrow, whatever. And again, love to get your comments. Nick, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me back.
And you'll be back next week. And going forward, we're going to get the team back. It's summer, guys. Vacations.
Yeah.
And I am Simply G. Thanks for tuning in.